All right, we are live.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Are we actually live?
No,
No.
Okay.
we are recording.
Okay. I didn't know if you were like streaming it over the internet to something.
No, we're.
No, we have to be able to edit
I usually say too many things that are awful. So
just in case.
today's special guest is Andrew. He's up from Tennessee, and well,
I am not from Tennessee though.
no, he's up from Tennessee
Yeah.
where he moved. He's originally from in the area. So basically, we're just going to ask him some questions about the differences he noticed between living in New York for
God.
exactly.
I'm gonna get canceled for this.
That's fine. Living in New York his whole life, and then moving down south to a, for lack of a better term, a better state. I guess would be a good.
a more, how do you want to put it? Free state.
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Yeah.
So
Something like that.
what would you say the first thing is you noticed that's biggest difference?
Oh God. I'd say religion.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely people are way more religious. Everything is God bless you or, something to do with religion in every conversation. It's pretty crazy. You don't talk about it, especially seeing as like a lot of northern people aren't religious, or it's not as pronounced as down south. But yeah, you don't really want to tell them that, hey, I don't go to church. That's not something you want to really bring up with them. But
That's interesting.
yeah.
Like I knew it was definitely more religious down south, but I didn't know it was like that much more intense.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, like two of the people I work with are ministers, part time at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of them married one of our coworkers.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
How about like anything to do with like finances? Like taxes, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like not paying state taxes is huge.
Oh, they don't have sales tax.
No, you have sales tax, but state tax.
Oh, state tax. Yeah, that's right.
So like you get more money in your paycheck than you would here because you literally don't have to pay into like Tennessee. It's kind of weird. But on the other hand, you pay more in taxes buying things. So everything is taxed and at a much higher rate than up north.
Okay.
So go to the grocery store, 10% tax on pretty much everything. So they get their money. One way or another, the government's always going to get their fucking money.
Yeah, they got to dabble into it somehow.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So how does that factor into like property tax? I'm assuming that's through the roof.
No, it's dirt cheap.
Really?
So our property tax is about a third of what I was paying here in New York. And you pay one tax, that's it. We just paid it, like last month or whatever. Not 2 or 3. You don't have to worry about it. Just pay it once and you're done.
Yeah. So school tax too.
So it's all wrapped in with your property taxes.
Really?
There's no actual school tax bill.
Huh.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I'm not used to that.
That's interesting. Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, how does Tennessee afford to pay their state municipalities, like DOT and police? And
Well, not only that, like if you graduate high school in Tennessee, you get 2 years of community college for free. Your kids can literally go to 2-year college paid for by the state just for graduating there, which is pretty crazy. I mean,
yeah,
like they got to be affording it somehow. They've been doing it for years.
right. Huh.
Yeah, I wonder where that revenue stream comes from.
Yeah. But like I said, sales tax is big down there. So everybody's paying their fair share because the more you buy, the more you pay in taxes. So if you're rich and you're buying a shit ton of stuff, you're paying a lot of fucking taxes. So
I guess they don't have any kind of like how New York has certain tax write-offs. Like you can like not pay tax with certain groups. I don't know how else to put it. Do they not have anything like that? Well, that
I'm sure they do, but I'm not.
It might not be as easy.
That tax bracket is not where I am.
Fair, that's fair, yeah.
So yeah, it's a little strange, with going to the grocery store and paying actual taxes on the food because Vermont you don't pay any taxes on food.
I don't even know that.
Well, when's the last time you went shopping in Vermont?
Not very often.
But yeah, you go there, you don't pay anything on groceries. Now, like anything other than groceries, like paper towels and stuff like that, you will. But groceries itself, there's none.
Like the actual food, edible
food.
things.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Start shopping in Vermont.
That means I got to go to the old B town. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So, like, how about anything to do with like housing market? How would you say that is comparatively?
You can definitely get a better house for a lot cheaper than what you can around here. Like, I mean, you've seen pictures of my house. It's decent and whatnot. That would have been, 150,000 more than what I paid for it up here.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't even touch anything that nice like in New York or Vermont. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of running into the last year trying to buy a house. It was like I looked at prices down by like where you were, and I like looked at the house you got for the price you got it, and I was like, yeah, up
honestly,
here that would be like that's like nothing up here.
What we bought, like what our house and your house aren't that far off in price range.
No.
So, and it's it's pretty nice for what it is.
Yeah, like I think he like about the same, maybe a little bit less, I think, than what you paid, but relatively the same for a similar size house that's a little bit smaller.
Yeah. And they're always building down there, so there's communities popping up everywhere. So there's a shortage of houses, but not like what you have up north. There's plenty of land to build on down there, and it's different. It's kind of weird.
So how does cost of living and like average wage factor and all that?
Well, the wages are less, so the cost of living is less to live down there, and you are going to get paid less,
right?
Unless you're in like a specialty job or something like that, high demand. So you kind of have to look at that. So if you're making decent money down there, you can live pretty easy, which is nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, it kind of evens out.
Yeah, I would say so. If you're just trying to work in like McDonald's or something, which obviously you shouldn't be doing unless you're like 16 years old.
No, you need to pay the bills for the whole family working at McDonald's.
Yeah. Which fast food restaurant was it? They are experimenting with robots that cook fries. I saw a video on it.
Well, it's starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the kiosks for ordering, so you don't even got to talk to anybody anymore.
Well, Japan already does all that.
Yeah, exactly. If they're causing all these problems basically with having expensive labor, they're gonna find a way around it.
Exactly.
It's gonna just everything's gonna gravitate, and it's like there's already a slope with the kiosks. That was the original thing, and that kind of tilted the landscape. Now it's all kind of starting to roll that direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything they can automate, they're going to, because
Of course.
you want to make $15 an hour, or you're gonna run the machines, and there's only be 2 people instead of 10 people.
Robots don't need breaks.
That's
exactly.
They don't care. They'll run 24/7 unless they don't have power.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what DOT did with like the road stop signs. Instead of having a guy at each end with the stop sign, now they have an automated thing with one guy running it.
Yeah.
So they pay one guy to do the job of traffic control as opposed to 2.
And they get paid good to do that too.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can cut half the pay out of someone holding a sign, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Especially in New York, state DOT it's a good paying job. It's a good job.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't skimp on that. Anything state related kind of in New York, I guess they have enough tax money going in that they need to disperse it around.
New York's always broke though. I mean,
that's because of the city.
New York City.
Yeah, the city kills the place.
But still, I mean, they bleed money out. Look at them what was it, rest stops on the thruway that were brand new, and they decided, well, these aren't good enough. We need to tear them down and build
And do
new
it again.
ones.
Yeah.
They were brand new. At least
Yeah.
one of them was that they did it too.
Yeah.
That's wasteful. It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, wasteful is kind of in the New York way.
This is true. Any government, really, but New York especially.
New York's catching up really quickly to California.
Yeah. So in some ways, it's surpassed California.
Yeah, exactly. They're in a custody battle of having the worst state. They're trying to figure out who can be worse than the other one.
Fun to visit, but don't live there.
Yeah, I would love to visit South California, like all the popular spots.
Yeah.
Or like visit. I couldn't imagine living there.
Yeah, you go there on vacation and then go home.
Yeah, then go back to a normal place. Well,
Yeah.
normal relatively.
Right.
Yeah. How about anything to do with? I know you were telling me stuff about like registering cars and anything to do with automobile laws.
God. So they have a DMV, but you go there just to get your license. And this was like the weirdest thing I've ever dealt with trying to get all my stuff switched over to Tennessee. So we walk into the DMV, we do our license, and I tell the lady, okay, I want to register my cars now too. And she looks at me and she's like, you don't do that here. I was like, what do you mean this is DMV? She said, no, you got to go to the county clerk. I was like, really? Yeah. How? Why? It's a DMV. That's driver motor vehicle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
No. Then we go to the county clerk, and as I was telling you before, they don't care. Like, you walk in there with a title, they don't look for your license. They don't want anything. They say, okay, you live at this address and this is you. Okay, here you go. Registered, done.
Whoa.
No insurance, nothing.
You don't even need insurance,
No. I mean, you're supposed to have insurance to drive it.
but you don't need it to register.
No.
So if you don't have insurance, they won't suspend your registration like in New York?
No, not at
That's
all.
insane.
There's no state inspection either, right?
No state inspection either.
Holy.
Your
Now-
truck.
Yeah, right.
Now, there is an overabundance of broke down vehicles on the side of the road. You see
Because
them
of that, yeah.
everywhere. But they're not rotted out. They're probably blown up motors or bad transmissions or something like that. Who knows? But they're all over the place. You can go down the highway and you'll see one. Guaranteed.
I know that's the craziest part. Like you were telling me down there, like a pick and pull, or like a pull your
Yeah.
own parts. Like
Yeah.
you go down there, you see like a 2000 Subaru, and the thing's like clean.
Cherry. And it's just
That's
sitting there
crazy.
on wheels. And there's not a spot of rust in the quarters or anything. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that car had another 5 or 6 years left in it, even up north.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Yeah, it's got to be like you said, like blown motors or transmissions. They must just like, because cars are probably, there's so many of them down there. It's so easy to get another one. They're just like, oh, I ain't gonna put a motor in this thing.
Another thing that happens, like with cars down there, is everything's so spaced out. So if you want to go somewhere, you're driving a couple hours. So cars get high miles very quickly. And with that, I mean, how many Subarus you see with 200,000 miles on them that are still kicking?
My old one.
Yeah, this is true, but it's the exception,
general,
not
yeah.
the rule. I mean, so I'm sure that car had a lot of miles on it. I didn't look, but I'm sure it did.
That's a good point. Yeah, everything, because when I looked, I just briefly scrolled through cars for sale down, in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they all have a ton of miles on them. They're all like 150K plus for basically anything
150K is like low miles
for something down there. Yeah.
You see cars in the 250, 300 range, easy, and
Because they don't rot out.
No, and they're still
Right.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the mechanical components, like suspension wise, you can replace very easily, especially if there's no rust.
Yep.
And then engines nowadays, basically since the 90s, run
Yeah.
forever. They don't. You just put oil in them.
Basically,
They make sure there's oil in it while you run it.
change it every once in a while.
Yeah, just change it
Yeah.
and then put gas in it, and they pretty much run forever until like a sensor dies and they don't feel like fixing it, and then they
Yeah.
just park it on the side of the throughway and they just go, somebody will pick that up.
Well, they red tag them.
Oh,
So if it's
okay.
been parked there for too long on the side of the road, the cops will go by, put a red tag on it. I think you get like 24 hours to remove it after it gets a red tag. And then tow trucks come along and they take them away. And I don't know if
It goes to the pick and pull.
It very well could. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure what the process is after that, but yeah, they just. You don't. But how many cars on the side of the road up here?
None.
Do you ever see?
Like very rarely.
And when somebody does break down, they take their shit and bring it back home with them,
Yeah.
or have it towed to a junkyard or something. They just leave them.
That's so funny.
I think the last time I went up to Union City, which is about 30 minutes from my house, there was a car on the side of the road, and we were talking about it at work before that, and it's sitting on a scissor lift or scissor jack with no tire on it. And one of the guys I work with had said it had been there for at least a couple days, and sure enough, I drove by and it was still sitting there. So somebody took the time to take the tire off of it. The brakes were rusty on it, so it had been being hit with water, and just left it there. Why? Can you imagine that?
It makes me think of like a video I actually saw on Facebook the other day. It was some guy had a truck, and the guy was in the store or something, and he was parked. It must have been down south because the trucks were like super clean.
Yep.
But he went in the store and he came out, and there was a guy with the same truck as him with a flat tire behind him, jacking up his truck to take the wheel off.
Oh God.
And put it on his truck. And the guy, he comes out, he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's recording it, and he goes, no, nothing, man, nothing. He's lowering the truck down. He's like, "This is my truck." And he's like, "Well, I was just going to use the wheel to get to the
I think
junkyard
I've
and come
seen
back." You
that
might have
one.
seen it, yeah. It was going around for a little bit. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I was gonna bring it back," and he's like, "What?" He's like, "What? You don't have a spare? Like, call somebody. Like, what are you gonna take my tire off my truck? And I'll just let you
Yeah.
use it. That's fine."
Is that kind of like renting the same car as you to get the new tires off of it and bring the rental car back?
That would be pretty savage.
bald tires.
What size tires are on that rental car out
don't-
there?
They actually write the serial numbers down on the tires nowadays because of that stuff. At least I've been told.
That's
they do.
savage. Imagine like renting a car and like taking the tires off of it and then putting shitty ones on it.
Or the
I do not condone this.
U-Haul, getting the 6 liter out of the U-Hauls and swapping in a 4.8 liter.
Yeah, that was
do
absolute
it.
savage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you can do it in like a day.
Yeah.
You're like they
You
would,
want a 6 liter for $19.99? Here you go.
there was videos of that. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, they would literally rent a U-Haul, the Chevy 6 liters, and they would take their Chevy whatever Silverado and they
Usually
had
it's the 4.8 liters. that
yeah,
they
the
do it
little
with.
base model dink motors, and they're the same externally.
You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, they're externally the same engine, and they basically run on the same thing. Like you just because it adjusts accordingly, basically.
Well, as long as you're using the same injectors from the 6 liter, it doesn't know the difference. It's just airflow.
That's
It's a pump.
true. Yeah, it just adjusts the fuel and whatever.
Well, it just thinks that you're opening the throttle body less. It's just a pump. It's airflow. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So,
they just dump the 4.8 into the U-Haul and then take the 6.0 and put it in their truck.
Yep.
Imagine.
Wow.
I couldn't do something. That
No, of course not.
That's pretty bad.
Imagine who like thought of that though.
I don't know. That one's been going around for a long time. People used to do that back when they had the what was it? The Shelby 500 rent-a-cars with the hopped up motors that they used to have in them, and they would rent them and steal the motors out of them and put them in their Mustangs. This was like I think
For like the
late
90s.
60s,
Oh,
early 70s.
that long ago?
Yeah,
Like a long time ago.
Stuff like that's been going on for a long time.
It took them a while to catch on, I guess.
Yeah,
Wow, this car seems like a lot slower.
right.
That's just so funny that people would like come up with that. Like to think like
Wow.
be like, this is the car I wish I had. Wait a second.
Let me go rent that one.
Yeah, wait a second. I could just make this my car by taking the engine out.
That it's still pretty shady. Though.
I mean, it's awful to do,
Yeah.
but it's hilarious.
Doesn't matter the time period. There's always going to be some mutt that has to ruin everything.
This is
Basically, yeah. Yeah, now I can't get away with it because too many other people are doing it. No, I would never do that, but still, it's funny to
Yeah,
think.
it's funny.
So, what else have like that we haven't touched on? Could you think of?
Oh God.
I know you always have stories just spread out. It's just hard to think of them all at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah. It's,
I got something.
Oh yeah.
What's the food like? Is there any difference?
You know, there's barbecue everywhere.
Okay.
Like legit barbecue. You know, pulled pork, anything you want smoked. It's. I think in the town that I live in, I think there's like 5 or 6 of them. And this is another thing I don't understand with that. The restaurants, there is more Mexican restaurants. And there's not a huge Mexican population, at least where I'm living, but there's 3 different Mexican restaurants. Why? And who's supporting them?
Is there? How is the? We have. I guess we have a few around here too.
Yeah, we definitely have a few around here, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And these places aren't bad. They're good food, at least the ones that I've eaten at. But like,
It just seems oddly out of place.
Yeah, it's definitely out of place. Like, there's more of that than any other food that you can get. It's either going to be, smoked something or Mexican.
Do you live near a military base?
Not that I know
Say
of.
military base would definitely support Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
Usually, whenever you go near one, there Mexican restaurants are around every corner.
There's also a restaurant that's about 30 minutes from me. We go by it when we go to Memphis. It's called, is it Tacos versus Sushi?
Really?
I shit you not, Taco versus Sushi, right on. It's a big bold letters on the building.
Have you gone there?
No, they say it's okay, I guess.
I would go there.
I don't know
that's-
about going to a place that specializes in tacos
Right.
and sushi.
Yeah.
That seems kind
Either
of
or.
Yeah,
Don't try both in the same
Yeah.
night.
it's suspicious.
Figure out which one gives you food poisoning before you go back and get the other one.
I mean, I don't think it's going to make you shit like Taco Bell, but maybe you never know.
never know.
Make sure you have the next day off of work.
It's really too far away from my house to be able to go eat something like that and then get the shits on the way home.
That's true. Get it to go. You can get it in the ripest form, mushed in the bag after an hour.
Oh no, and it's really only like 25 minutes. It's not
that
that
bad.
far.
You never know when duty calls.
Yeah,
25 minutes is a lifetime.
Bring an extra pair of socks.
Yeah.
Will be right.
pinching the cheeks together for 25 minutes feels like a lifetime.
I kind of
Yeah.
did that this afternoon. I'm not gonna lie.
You start sweating.
After breakfast, I had to go to Ace Hardware, and I was in there, and I was with Johnny, and I was like, man,
Well, that's what happens after every time we go there.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
because it's the best. We eat like
Yeah.
2 pounds of the best diner
Crisco.
food.
Just pumps it right out of you.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, time to void everything.
Yeah.
We got to make room for the new food coming
It's
in.
a weekly cycle every Saturday.
I purge.
And I went on a trip with my dad to go to the auction in Pennsylvania, and we slept in the car on the way back up. We drive down 7 hours down, drive back up as far as you can after you buy the cars. We wake up the next morning and start taking off, just go take a piss and leave. And I'm in the truck, and my belly starts rumbling. And I'm like, all right, I got to find something soon. And we're in Pennsylvania in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm like to the point where I'm sweating. And I tell my old man, we got to go now or I'm going over the guardrail because I got to go. Finally found a McDonald's. Oh, yeah.
Poor McDonald's. I've actually relied on McDonald's more than once. Lift the mic up higher.
I did not realize the mic was wandering.
It was
hanging, sagging.
She was sagging a little bit.
You gotta give her a good tail. She's
Yeah.
she's
There
a
you
little
go. Perfect.
top heavy.
Is that better?
That's perfect.
I wasn't even looking at the mic. Sorry.
No, I just noticed it. I looked out. I could notice it getting like slightly tinnier in the mic in my ears as I was hearing it. I could hear your voice getting thinner. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned McDonald's because I've definitely done that with McDonald's. It's come in clutch because they're usually open.
They are open all the time.
Yeah, so-
not so much now after COVID.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like a lot of places that were 24/7,
Yeah.
like every place basically
Yeah.
that was 24/7, except for like Cumbies. That's about the only one that's still 24/7.
Cumbies
Even
Right.
then,
Cumbies was shutting down for a while.
yeah, for a
too.
while they were.
They didn't. Well, even after everything was starting to open back up, they just couldn't find people that would work
Yeah.
there, and especially third shift. So they were shutting it down.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Yeah, like you said, after like either whether they were scared or not, they didn't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
So they and nobody could stay open 24/7. I think
mean,
they just kind of adopted it.
People got comfortable though.
Yeah, well that's what I said. Whether they were or not,
Yeah.
they didn't want to go back to work.
I mean, how many weeks was it that I was out getting paid for 9 or something like that? I think.
Yeah,
it was
you were out
8
for
or
a
9
while.
weeks.
You know what I was? 0. I had nothing.
I know.
Even when I got it.
They were
Still-
paying me just as much to stay home and do nothing than I was if I was working. So
Yeah.
why not?
That's what happened is like people with less moral responsibility
Yeah.
that usually get nothing anyway. They're like, wow, this is
Well,
fucking
they
awesome.
were making double the triple.
They
of
got
what
more. Yeah,
normally
they
were
actually
making.
got more.
Yeah, mine was
never got
mine
that.
was enough to cover my wages and maybe a little bit extra, but not like nothing to really
Yeah.
talk about. And it was nice just to sit home for 9 weeks and
But it was.
do nothing.
What I was doing, working the whole time.
I mean, what did I do them 9 weeks? Oh, we went to the dyno a few times. At one time,
Yep.
at least. I sold a ton of stuff that was in my garage, parts and stuff. And I bought all new parts and upgraded the car even more.
I remember you got a lot done. I specifically remember like, you're like, oh, look what I did this week.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
And we went to Scoops and
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know. I'm still sad that Scoops is not open.
I'm
they're
mad
closed?
over that.
well, not in the wintertime.
oh, okay.
They'll open back up here. What, in April? I think it is. April?
Usually, yeah. They've been like, depending on how busy they get, they do like little weeks here and there sometimes
Do they?
where they like, because I know this year they opened in like November again for like a couple days.
Why don't they open back up now? I want some ice cream.
I know, right?
I know. Just because I'm here.
Yeah,
I guess not enough people would buy in the wintertime.
Which I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
That's
'cause
true.
Yeah.
I truly believe like if they kept doing it, people would go there because it's
Yeah,
good ice cream.
It is.
Yeah, they are absolutely next level when it comes to ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I buy Stewart's ice cream in the winter.
See, I don't like Stewart's ice cream that much. It's okay, but it's
not like their ice
It's
cream.
not the best. It's just okay. It's
It's
cheap.
I just get the Moose Trail ice cream, and that's
Yeah.
my favorite one. It's or peanut butter pandemonium.
Do you guys have Blue Bell around here?
In the freezer section, yeah, of like Hannaford.
So Blue Bell is actually a lot better than
Really?
Stewart's. Yeah,
See, I get all the old man ice cream anyways, like maple walnut and butter pecan.
Yeah, I don't like either one of them.
Love it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter what brand you get; they're all about the same.
You go
Delicious.
down south, it's not pecan, it's pecan.
Pecan, okay.
My pecan.
You say pecan, they're looking
Pecan.
at you like, what is a pecan? A pecan. Do you want a pecan pie?
Yeah, baby.
Pecan pie is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
See, it's funny. Like anything usually to do with nuts, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Like except for peanut butter.
Freddie just doesn't like the nuts.
Yeah.
These nuts. Like peanut butter. I like. Any like
See,
Almond butter.
I'm okay
Almond
with
butter.
peanut butter and like peanut butter cups and stuff like that, or peanut butter and like, different.
PB&J.
No, I don't like PB&J at all. I do
What?
not. I do not like peanut butter. Like,
all right, this
bread.
episode of the podcast is over.
I've been canceled
We're done.
already.
Yeah, canceled.
Yeah.
I fucking love peanut
Peanut
butter
butter and jelly is the fucking go-to.
Yeah.
Yes, not.
Like I'm glad I don't stock jelly in my fridge because I would eat it all the time. I have peanut butter. I don't have jelly because I would just eat it all the time.
Dude,
That's definitely something that's not in my house at all.
Really?
Wow.
Neither peanut butter or jelly.
Have you ever tried it like fried like a grilled cheese?
Like eating a grilled cheese?
No, like peanut butter and jelly, but you fry it like a grilled cheese.
No.
You should try it.
No, I don't like jelly though.
It might turn you over. Just a
don't-
thin layer.
I really,
Really?
I can't
Have you-
stand jelly.
Have you ever tried Trappist strawberry jelly?
No, but I mean, I would try it. See,
Dude.
here's the thing: I'm a really picky eater, but I will try just about anything.
Chicken feet.
I've done that. I
Yeah.
will not eat it again.
Those
but
eggs.
Tastes exactly like you think it would.
I won't do the eggs. I draw the line at that.
Those
them
were pretty
eggs.
bad. I'm
Was
not
that
gonna
century
lie.
eggs?
No, they're
Or balut eggs?
they are salt cured Chinese eggs.
Century eggs.
I don't know what.
They're black colored.
No, these are red.
Okay.
They might as well be a century egg.
Yeah,
It was not good.
they don't even cook them. Like the yolk is still runny.
Oof.
It was pretty brutal. Like I wasn't expecting it to be as brutal as it was.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a package of them in the refrigerator. At my
I believe
house
it because
right
Katie eats them, right?
now. Yeah, she does.
Like she just eats them.
She just eats them. I think she eats them with other things, but she likes them. Yes,
Stay the hell away after that.
That's so strange. Like I don't know.
and she has different tastes.
Well, yeah. I just it's
whatever you're
it's
into.
just strange to figure out like how like you can be like, wow, that's just bad, but like somebody else likes it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like there's nothing against it, but it's just funny because
Yeah.
like you just don't understand how that could happen.
Yep.
I remember you gave me one at NSK.
It was at NSK
You were
too.
repacking and you were cutting the grooves out of the packing. Remember that when you had to you had to use the Sawzall and cut all those. You had to modify the skids
Oh, that
for
was,
like weeks.
yes,
and weeks
yes.
and
that,
weeks.
That was the expanded trays, the expanded
Yeah.
plastic trays for the Nissan line, and they upgraded the model, and we had to cut the holes out to make them fit.
Yeah,
It wasn't weeks.
it was like months.
I think it went on for just over a year.
It was a long
And
time.
It after the first couple months, it wasn't every day, and it wasn't as much, but it went on for a way too long of a time because I mean I was sick of it at that point.
Yeah, that was. I remember how often like I just
You hear the Sawzall going.
and you're like, hey, you want to try these eggs? And I'm like, sure, I like eggs. You're like, these aren't normal eggs. And I looked at the package and I couldn't read it, and it's just like these weird looking
Yeah.
eggs. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, how bad could it be? Not good. It's like fermented. It's like
Yeah. Did you try the Korean white rice wine?
no.
Okay. That was like a mixture of milk. It was milky, like milky white. It's kind of hard to describe, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I didn't try that.
Yeah.
The chicken feet I tried, and it tastes exactly like you think it
He
would.
had to. We went to the rain and they had it, and the guy's like, you know, like.
Yeah, he was brutally
And
honest.
I'm not even trying to do like weird accents like,
that's
that, but
literally how he said it.
yeah,
yeah, it was really funny.
or trying to use chopsticks for the first time.
Like here, this much easier.
Yeah, I flagged it on. Can you get these guys some forks?
All right, listen here. Now I go there and I'm just like, whoosh, whoosh.
Now we're experts.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the rain is so good. We should
It is.
next time you're up, we should go to the rain. Like if you're up on leisure instead of on
Yeah,
work.
right.
And you actually have spare time. That place, did I ever take you there or no?
The rain, where is that?
In Albany,
Lark
Lark Street.
Negative.
You have
Super
to
good.
go.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know where Bombers is?
I do.
Across the street.
Okay.
It's so good.
It
It's
if you
unassuming.
didn't know it's there,
Yeah.
you wouldn't really look for it. But like it's a modern Chinese place, so it's not American Chinese. There is some American Chinese there, but they have dim sum, and you can order the small plates, and that's where you get the chicken feet.
The spicy chicken.
Oh, the spicy chicken, and then you take and mix it with the roast pork fried rice. So delicious.
It's like a week's worth of food, too.
It is.
Wow.
So yeah, but it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I remember because I got the spicy chicken last time I went there, and I was like, I couldn't remember the portion size. It's massive.
Yeah, they bring you out a plate of this stuff, and it's like a family size plate, and the fried rice is the same. So you get these two big, huge plates, and I kind of want to get it tomorrow night for dinner.
You should. If you're in the area,
But
you
here's
might
the
as
problem:
well.
I'm going to throw more than half of it away.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do? I mean,
I'll meet up with you.
yeah, you want to go to Albany tomorrow night at 7:00?
Sure, there'll be a homeless guy around the corner you can give it to.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't really want to be on Lark Street that late at night.
Yeah, I don't by yourself. I don't blame
Yeah.
I would literally go just take the half that you didn't eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
you, dude. The best. I know this is gonna sound real stupid, but the best like Asian inspired chicken that I've had in a long time was from Cheesecake Factory.
Really?
Cashew chicken,
Really?
phenomenal,
Of all places.
so good, dude.
I haven't been to Cheesecake Factory. In
I've
like,
never been there.
You've never been there?
Never.
It was so good.
It is pretty good. Like, their food really is
I
good.
try not to eat at chain restaurants.
So do I, but we got a gift card, so we were like, oh,
So
we'll
yeah,
send it.
it's kind of like my first time at Cracker Barrel. We
Yeah.
got gift cards from work. Mm-hmm. I think they gave us like $7 a piece or something stupid like that.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Gee,
Yeah.
Get like maybe half an app. Depending.
Yeah, I've been to Cracker Barrel, and it's not anything to write home about.
It's not, but we had gift cards,
yeah,
so we tried it.
right. But Cheesecake Factory is worth going to.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Just like a normal occasion. Their menu is massive.
I actually think that their food is better than their cheesecake.
Their food is pretty good.
Yeah, their cheesecake, I didn't really. I mean, it's good.
I mean, it's a
good
cheesecake factory. It should be good.
Yeah,
cheesecake,
it is
right?
good cheesecake, but like Nunzanuski cheesecake is better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing stands up to that.
No, it's definitely not. It's not on the same level.
I mean, if I could get away with it, I'd ship a box home with me. But
They have them in the freezer at Hannaford.
yeah,
Really?
but it's a 2-day trip by truck. Now the truck's pretty reliable. I know it's going to get there in 2 days.
Put the just put an AC unit right in the back of the truck. Just drill it right in
See,
the side.
here's what I was thinking about doing, and I had talked to Katie about it. We have a Arctic cooler.
Okay.
I was thinking about sending it up before I came up here on the truck,
And then like
and then getting whatever I wanted. Well, it would be in Bennington at the warehouse.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And then just getting whatever I wanted, putting it in the cooler and sending it back down.
Perfect.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like dry ice.
I like how that you could literally.
I don't even think you need to do dry ice. It's just ice packs inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not that far.
We take it in the summertime to Memphis, and it's a 2-hour drive to Memphis, and we'll come home with all kinds of frozen food, ice cream, and it doesn't melt one bit with no ice packs in it at all. Just thrown inside the cooler, packed right full, and
The Arctic one. It's like the Yeti copy.
knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing, different name.
Yeah, exactly.
They were started by employees that worked for Yeti, and then they got sued by Yeti because their designs were exactly the same. Now they're slightly different.
It's kind of like the Ozark Trails are the same thing, but with like a sharper angle on the
Pretty
side.
much. Yeah, it's the same but different.
Yeah, they are well insulated.
They are really good coolers, but they're expensive.
It's like my dad's old Stanley thermos from like the 90s.
You couldn't beat them, Stanley.
No, it thing literally still to this. I put coffee in it like 9:30 in the morning. I filled it up, and like I went to drink it at noon, burnt myself, still too hot. And then I didn't finish it, and I just brought it home, set it on the counter. And I forget. I think I went out to the bar or something, and I came back at like midnight, and I was like, I wonder if it's still warm. And I like opened it and like took a sip, and it was still like a drinkable temperature after the entire day.
I remember when I was in high school, like I think someone brought soup or something with one of them, and I'm used to like the little kids' lunch boxes with the thermoses in them, and that stuff was just like kind of warm when you got to lunch.
Yeah.
And this kid's opening it up, and the damn thing's steaming out the top of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like magic.
Well,
How does that work?
The inside of it's about the size of this microphone, and
Oh,
then it's
yeah.
like 4 inches of insulation
But
around.
now
it.
you get the stainless steel vacuum sealed ones that no insulation at all, and
It's literally exactly the opposite. There's nothing at
Yeah.
all. There's not even air.
is the best. Oh,
There's zero.
there's
air.
zero.
That's the whole
Wow.
point. Yeah, the vacuum. So like air transfers heat.
Yep.
Like that's why your hands like you can feel heat coming off of you. Whereas if you're in a vacuum and there is no air, heat doesn't transfer. So like you could torch the metal inside and the outside metal would stay cold because that's how they insulate.
Yeah.
The only heat loss basically is whatever you drink, the heat escaping, and then there's always some residual and it transfers out. Like that.
Yeah, from the top of the bottle because it's the same metal as one form.
Yeah, it'll come out the
Yeah.
little top edge,
Yep.
but anywhere there's a gap, there's no heat loss.
I use one of them every day at work. I have tea at my desk.
Yeah, it just lasts like the whole day.
Pretty much.
I like them, but then I hate it too because I can never drink the shit that
Yeah,
I put in
so
it. It takes me
noon.
fucking 4 hours to drink it.
I mix a little bit of cold water in it when I first make it so it's drinkable.
Yeah, and then it stays that way.
Yeah, usually it stays warm enough. By the time I'm done drinking it, it's still pretty hot.
By the time I put my like creamer in my coffee, I kind of gets it to the right temperature, and then it
Why
stays
do you
that way.
put creamer in coffee?
I gotta put.
Drink it black like a man.
I did for a while, and I got sick of it, so I got changed up for a little while, then
So-
I'll go back to it.
We have at least, I think, 14 or 15 different kinds and flavors of coffee at my house.
Really,
it's
I got 3.
got
I'm
one.
not even exaggerating. We have enough coffee there to go at least a week to 2 weeks without ever drinking the same flavor. So you can't, and every coffee is different. So you can't get bored with black coffee. If
That's
one of
true.
we have
That's
one
all
that
I drink.
yeah, me too. I don't. We don't even have creamer at all in the house.
Yeah. I have one flavor of coffee. It's Vermont Coffee Company Trace.
So
It's like a medium dark roast, and I get the whole beans, grind it myself. That's all I drink black.
yeah, we get the whole beans, grind
It's way
everything
better.
ourselves. I will send you some coffee beans.
Okay.
They're French vanilla. There's nothing added to it. It's just the way it's roasted, and it literally tastes like French vanilla. I have another one at the house that tastes like cinnamon.
Really,
It literally tastes like you're drinking a cup of fucking cinnamon. It's weird.
the best flavored coffee, like black coffee that I ever had, was probably like the Stewart's Blueberry.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Like I had it.
That's crazy. I've
You-
never heard blueberry.
Yeah,
before.
you can buy it sometimes in the grounds, and I would mix it at work, and it's actually pretty good. I didn't have any problems with just drinking that black. It's a nice change, but I have Black Rifle Company. I have a couple flavors by them, and then I have Vermont Organic Whole Beans.
Yeah.
And then
The Iron
else.
Coffee in Hoosick Falls is really good.
it is really good. It's just really expensive
It is.
too. It's like typical, like yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
I would love to make that coffee.
I think I'm
for
the
you.
only person in Tennessee that has Iron Coffee,
Oh
like sitting at my house.
yeah, that would definitely be the only person.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh look, I'm bleeding.
Oh, boy.
Aw,
My
Freddie.
dry ass hands, and every time I just
That's another thing. I have not had cracked knuckles in 2 years.
yeah, because
The
the,
well,
weather
it-
doesn't change. Well, it does, but
Yeah.
not like
The last 2 winters, not a single crack. I got my girly office hands. It's perfect.
I cannot say the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because like your weather changes aren't so drastic.
No, I mean summertime is brutally hot,
I bet
but the winter it's not
doesn't
that bad.
dry out.
So like they get cold days, but a lot of the times in winter days is 40 degrees. That's not that cold. It's not
No.
that bad. And the humidity, even in the wintertime, is a lot more than you get up here in the north. So when you do get a frost, you're chiseling ice off your car. You're not driving down the road with it. It's this thick layer.
'Cause it's like morning dew.
It's like morning dew that froze to everything. So you really have to either start your vehicle or get out there with a scraper and chisel this shit off there. Where like this morning, it had this light layer of frost on the window of the car here and just scraped it off real quick and just left.
Yeah,
You can't do that. there.
that's interesting. I didn't really think about that
Yeah.
actually.
It's
Because the air is just super dry in the winter up here.
Yeah, very
Yep.
dry.
Yeah, versus like you said down there, it's more humid, and then the humidity condenses,
Yeah.
and then it freezes.
For the past 3 weeks, the peepers have been out.
Really?
And the bullfrogs, like you can hear them in the swamp across the street. Just like going crazy over there. They're loud.
I cannot wait to hear that sound. I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
sick of winter.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I can get Katie on video and you could hear the peepers. They're that loud. It's like obnoxious loud.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to get more snow this week, so.
I think we're pretty much done with snow for this year.
Okay. Yeah, well, we had like spring for the end of January and early February. Now we're back to winter number 3.
Yeah.
Winter is going to continue for you guys up until May.
Probably.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because you didn't have a winter, so now it's time.
Nope.
I feel like it's shifting. Did you ever notice that? Like when we were younger, I feel like winter started in like the middle of November and it would
used to
go
get-
until like April and then it would start to kind of warm up.
Yeah.
Now it like snows until May. But it doesn't really get cold until the middle of December.
I remember like around 7, 8 years old, my father going hunting on Thanksgiving Day in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like just a little bit of snow.
Like a lot of snow.
I mean, obviously, a little bit of snow back then was been a lot to me anyways because
Yeah.
you're a kid. But yeah, there was a lot of snow piled up outside.
Yeah, like feet of snow that you could build a snow fort into.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
you know?
Nowadays, nope.
Yeah, you get like one pile a year, and then it gets 50 degrees and it melts
The
and
next
goes
day.
away. Yeah,
So
the next day.
My birthday is in April, and I remember many times still having snow on the ground on my birthday, or being cold to the point where you had to have a jacket on. Mm-hmm. And it's not really so much the case anymore. Maybe the cold, but definitely not snow into end of April.
The snow is definitely a lot lighter.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was younger, like in May, it was like hot out. I feel like it's not that hot in May anymore up here.
See, I don't know if I remember that because like
I think of it like that because I remember like riding the school bus and it just being like hot. Like in the middle of May, it was like 80. But like I feel like it's not like that. I feel like it's like 60 something and 70 in May, and then like it's not 80s till like the middle of June.
the end of last winter or not winter, but last year was the first year for me to be in Tennessee for the summertime. The end of May, it got basically 100 degrees up until like August, end of August.
Okay, that's pretty warm. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, like,
the boosting weather sucks.
I never turned it down.
Just sent it.
I didn't have any issues with detonation even at that temperature.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, my intake air temperatures stay within 5 degrees of ambient. So even say it's 105 degrees, that's not that high for a boosted vehicle, really.
Yeah, especially the amount of like modification and the amount of boost.
Yeah.
So I think you should do another oil sample
So
on a regular oil change interval. Not
that's the plan. That oil had been in there for like, I'm gonna say close to 3 years.
Yeah, that's old. Because I know you haven't like you usually tell me whenever you're doing something, and I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about you changing.
So
the oil.
it wasn't on purpose, and I'm usually pretty good on maintenance on stuff like that. And
You also did a lot of things in the last couple of years.
I know I changed it. I know I can remember changing in the beginning of 2020. And then 2021, I was working on the house, not really driving the car much. And then I got word that, about moving and whatnot. And then I picked up the car in 2022, so last summer. And I had plans to change it once I got to Tennessee, and I just never did.
But yeah, you're also just at the end of a move.
Yeah.
Moved the whole garage and everything down.
I mean, yeah, it was super busy. Bought a new house, sold a house, bought a new house. So it's not like I was trying to neglect it, but it did get neglected for probably longer than
after
it
a
should
couple
have.
dyno runs.
That was the Amazon oil too.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did. That was when you test. That has been a long time because I remember when you told me you ordered the Amazon
Now
oil.
it's had 2 or 3 quarts of oil put into it since then because it does burn a little bit, which is normal.
especially all things considered.
Putting that much boost into a stock engine, it's gonna do something that it probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a 98 Pathfinder engine.
Yep, 98 Pathfinder engine had 130,000 miles on it that is now taking 28 pounds of boost.
Yeah. What was your last number? Wheel horsepower and torque?
582 horses to the wheels and 580 something foot-pounds of torque.
Bone stock motor. Well, except for the cams.
Except for cams and springs. It's never been opened, head gaskets, nothing. It's just the way it was built in 1998 from Nissan's factory.
It's so impressive.
I'm kind of impressed that it's not blown up either, but
Yeah.
the goal is this year to break the 650 horsepower record, stock block record.
That's the record on that block. Is
Well, on stock pistons. So the rods are normally good for about 650 torque before they start bending. So
what's your torque at again?
580.
So it's like pretty even like with like the horsepower.
Yeah.
You're right on the same ballpark there. You're gonna be cutting it real close
You can play with the timing to drop
make
the
to
torque.
drop the torque, get more horse.
So right now, so basically when you hit peak horsepower and it starts dropping off, if you add timing back into that, you can bring that torque back up to bring the power back in. I can cut that timing back on that and drop it down some, so it's not so intense.
Ease
But
it in.
The peak horsepower is peak cylinder pressure.
Yep,
And after that is when you start, the engine just can't breathe anymore.
that's fair.
So,
Which that engine's like not.
I mean, it's asthmatic. It's a two valve,
Yeah.
80s built motor. Basically, they were designed in early 80s. This
Yeah.
is the first mass produced V6 that's from Nissan.
like 110 horse in the factory.
God, nah, they were 160. You got to give it a little bit of credit.
It's
there.
not like the old 350 Chevys that were a 5.7 that had like 100 horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Well, that's because they definitely messed that up. I always got a kick out of that. The old sports cars back in the days, like all the foreign cars that would have like a V6 in it, like a 3.5 or 3.6 or something, and it would be making like, I don't know, say 220 horse.
Yeah.
Which was like, everybody's like, wow, this thing is ridiculous. And then they're like, or you could buy the old 5.0 engine, the old V8 that makes 238 horse. It's like,
To be fair, though, they
it's not
had
even anymore.
they had a lot of torque behind them.
Oh, well, of course. The low end on them is ridiculous. Even
Yeah.
still, when you drive them to this day, like whenever I test drive one, the low end on them is totally different than like anything now because they were designed for like,
Pulling.
pulling basically.
Yeah, they were a truck engine.
Yeah, they didn't really change the design between truck and car. They just
No.
kind of slapped it into the car. Yup, same gearbox, like everything. It was long gears.
Then you got the old guys wearing the white Reeboks or the 3/4 race cam. I jumped the Coke can.
Oh, I feel like certain people like look at it online and go, "That's sick," and then they buy it. And they have no idea, and then they just like think they're on the same level. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with any car, though. Honda people are the worst.
I mean, the stock
I don't know,
300.
S2000s are nasty.
Well, an S2000 is not a typical Honda.
Yeah,
When you say a Honda person, you mean like a Civic person.
That's fair, I guess, yeah.
the 96 Civic and that, their mother handed them down. And Civics can be fast. Let's face it. I know some people
Anything
that
can be.
has some fast Hondas, but you have to put money into them just like anything else.
Not the fart can Hondas. Those are not fast. I'm
Not
sorry,
at
kid.
all.
VTEC just kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are not fast.
Like for some
S2000s
good
are
memes.
not. I wouldn't even consider an S2000 like a Honda. They're just like their own car.
I see some posts from people that live around the area that have Hondas and talking about how their NA Honda is super fast.
The old Mustang killer.
No, you're not.
Imagine.
Makes great memes, though.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
The memes are legendary.
Yeah.
I like the ones with the fist like this. And it's like that kid that lives down the street with the Honda making as much ungodly noise as possible to reach 30 miles an hour. It's like, oh. It's literally so true, though.
Yeah.
There's a couple kids in Cambridge that have
Yeah.
Hondas that you see them like going through town just making ungodly amounts of noise doing 5 miles an hour.
So being an import guy now living in the South, that's another difference.
Oh, I could
Everybody has American muscle.
I rock.
Yeah, no, people like you see Camaros and you see, the Chargers everywhere. And if you drive an import, unmodified import at that, you're a racer, no matter what.
Doesn't matter.
And to me, the definition of a racer is, someone that likes to put wings and stickers and stuff to make their car look fast, but they didn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's louder and
Put a fork
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
call it good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my definition of that, which may not be the same as everybody else's, it can be either imports or domestics doing the same thing. But down there, if you drive an import, you're a racer, and at least two people have said that to me, and
oh, look, you're a little
irritated.
Line it up, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Well, with having the cutout on there, you don't with a muffler that's quiet, you don't really know that it has any kind of power.
No, except they think it has a misfire, but it's just the cam low.
Yeah, you hear something, but it's not loud. It's drivable. And then when that cutout opens, it's just like a different story. Like the V6 just came alive.
Yeah, it would be really funny to line up with some like tough guy, carbureted V8 owner with a Super 44 on it.
That's the plan. Once I get the new cam in there and get it tuned, I'm going to the drag strip, and that's all you see. Like the pictures there is Mustangs and Chargers and stuff like that. And I'm part of the group for the drag strip just to see what their posts and stuff. And obviously, I don't post anything on there because I'm not going to go say anything about the car until I get down there and run it and see what it can do.
Yeah.
But it's only 8th mile, so that's going to hurt me because the car's set up for quarter.
Yeah.
And I don't have the low end like the V8s do to pull off the line as hard as I'd like to.
That's true, yeah.
Unless I can get two-step working the way I absolutely want it to. But that's...
I just need to not let traction control be on and only get one run after waiting 3 hours.
I know.
That
day
so
pissed me off.
Annoying. I was so mad.
But normally... they don't do it like that. They normally do test and tune like every hour or something like that. When we waited there for hours.
Yeah, and then they started all over. Then it was like you had to wait another 3 hours to go. And I was like,
I was irritated because we paid like $20 or $25.
Yeah, just to do one run.
One run and go home.
A bad run. Because I literally, like someone blew up something. They had to clean the tracks. They made me shut my car off. And then when I turned it back on, the traction control went back on instead of staying off. So this is when I first swapped my car too. So the only time I'd ever gone to the drag strip before that was when it was paddle shift, and I ran bracket. I would have been, like you said, a good bracket racer.
Yeah,
because every time was the exact same.
Yeah.
Every single time, it never changed. It was what was it? 13.6 or something.
I can't even remember now.
It was like 13.6, 13.6, 13.6, 13.6 every single time.
But I mean, the car shifted every time the way
perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It's just perfect. It took off the exact same every time. So I was curious to see with the headers and the tune and then being manual what I could get, seeing if anything was different.
Yep.
And then I take off and traction control's on, and those tires spun and it went. I lost like a full 2 seconds, like right off the line. I was like, I was so mad. I was like, well, whatever. Whatever. I'll go back again. And then they're like, all right, bring out the fucking same whoever they started with. And I was like, what? And it was going to be the whole 4-hour ordeal. I was like, all right, yeah, I was just so mad.
Yeah, let's just go home. We're done for the day.
Drive an hour there, wait 4 hours, do one run, mess it up, and then have to wait 4 more hours.
So there's a video of you and I racing on my YouTube channel. And that was supposed to have been a low boost race. And we weren't really racing. We just happened to be lined up with each other. And Matt was in the passenger seat, and I was driving. And Matt had never been down the drag strip before.
Made me look like I was holding still.
Yeah. But it was his first trip down, and it was going to be a low boost pass just to get the feel of it. Hadn't been on the strip in a long time. I forgot to turn the boost down.
So it wasn't a low boost run.
No, it was. Back then, high boost for me was, I think, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we were 400, just over 400 horse. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know I was using two-step, and I was in boost when I took off. And it launched hard.
It really, no, you can tell in the video. Like, it's like.
Then if you listen closely in the video, it let loose in second gear. The clutch just disintegrated. It was still there, but it wasn't holding.
Yeah.
And I didn't back out of it. I just kept the foot right down to it. And third gear grabbed again, and the clutch held.
And the next run, it did not do so good.
No. I think that run I did a 12.2 at like 120 miles an hour with a passenger and a slipping clutch. So it was, it was going to be a really good run if everything went well.
It was a second and a half faster with a passenger and a slipping clutch than me.
And then we decided, I don't know if you got back in line or not, but I did.
We both did. You weren't, I think you were in front of me, though. You weren't like next to me again.
Yeah.
And I remember you took off, and I just saw you stop. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I hit two-step and launched it hard again. And when I did, that clutch slipped, and then when it finally grabbed the flywheel, it was so hot it welded itself right to the flywheel, and I couldn't let the clutch out. So I'm sitting around the track. The motor was off, and I go to start it back up and get going with it again.
Lurches,
and it finally broke free. And of course, my day was done. You can't drive like that. And we're, what, hour away from home?
it's a 55 minutes,
Something
an hour,
like that,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And I drive it home with this clutch material welded to the flywheel.
Yeah.
And it's chunky. Like, you go to take off with it and you can feel it chattering bad. And I made it home, thankfully, and had to obviously replace the clutch on that. But that was a hell of a crazy day.
That was an awesome day.
Yeah.
I got like 5 runs in.
And I'm sitting there like, fuck, I'm broke. I'm done.
Yeah, you're like, well, you got a back seat at least.
Yeah. I mean, I was prepared to ride home with somebody and get my trailer.
Yeah, if it needed it. Luckily, it worked out where it didn't need to be towed home.
I mean, every time that I've been to the strip I've been able to drive it back home, which
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that's gone on down there it probably shouldn't have.
Yeah. I really still I got to get a run in with the setup I have now, but I want to change the tires first on the back. They don't those Nittos are worthless. Never buy. I think they're 555 G2s, NT 555s.
What's the tread wear on them?
220. They're softer than the Continentals I had.
Yeah.
By definition, but those Continentals grip 100% better. I could never break those. Even when they were bald, they literally were smooth. And I did the gender reveal for Dylan with those. And I literally, in the video, you could see my front tires just pushing across the ground because they literally were gripping. I was trying to smash the brake and get the rear tires to spin. Oh, they were smoking, but the front tires were really sliding on the pavement.
You got to go get yourself a set of them R888s.
Well, listen, we ain't all millionaires around here. I'm going to find some used ones. There actually some used sets up there.
R888s?
Not those, but like some other tires that are like 265.
I was going to say, who's trading in them?
You'd be surprised. There's some really expensive tires that come in like brand new.
Yeah.
Like we got a Duratrek today, a 31 1050 15 or something like that. Like not a super common size, but it's a Goodyear Duratrek and it's brand new. It still has a sticker on it on a wheel.
Really?
And someone just got rid of it. They just threw it out.
By the way, I have to send you some tire pictures.
Okay.
My tires on my truck are still like new.
You suck. Yeah, he has the same Falcons you got.
Oh, really?
I think this. What size are yours again? 275.
Whatever stock Nissan Titan tires are. But here's the problem. I've had them tires for
like
5 or 6 years.
2018, I think you got those.
And I've got like
17
a lot of miles on them, and they just aren't wearing. I don't know.
Are they dry?
No.
They're not dried out either?
No, they're fine.
See, I think they skimped out on the compounds after they sold the initial batches. Like they made really good ones, and then they kind of like sold them for more, but made them less good.
Something definitely happened because your tires are bald.
Yeah, they were not good from the factory. That and they weren't 10 ply. I should have just went with the 10 ply.
Yeah, that was the only other difference. Is the 10 ply does have different.
It's a different compound. I should have just went with them, but I cheaped out. I was like, I don't need it. But then I wish I did because I mean they're still good. I can still use them.
Yeah,
and it's been 3 years, so I can't really complain that much. But I also don't drive a lot.
That's true.
And I also had 33s on it on a different set of wheels most of that time. Then they didn't wear at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been really impressed with that set of tires.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I wouldn't buy them now. They're so expensive now.
That truck has got its last set of tires that I'm ever going to buy.
Yeah, that's true. So that thing's mint.
Yeah.
You just did everything on it again.
The only thing I really did to it is the gas line because of salt.
Well, you had to pull the bed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I probably could have, if I had known how it was set up, I probably could have got away with not doing that and just lifting it a little bit, give myself a little bit more room.
It also made it really nice to take the bed off and just do it.
It did, and I oiled the crap out of everything.
Yeah,
there.
That's pretty much the way it is.
Yeah. But taking an 8-foot bed off a truck sucks, especially doing it by yourself with an engine crane.
Yeah.
So,
it is kind of sketchy, but that's like I said, with my M3, I want to pull the motor once I build a garage and just do everything while it's out. You can just get to everything and just replace every gasket, every line that's old, and just get it all done. And then you don't have to worry about it. Put it back in, and then the car's brand new. And you were there. You helped me get the tranny out.
Oh, that was crazy.
That wasn't that bad.
How many trannies have you had in your car?
Just one.
Two,
technically.
technically.
Actually,
I wasn't talking about that kind of training.
If we're going to be technical, It's the same transmission.
Yes.
The bell housing is different.
Yeah.
So at face value, there's two, but there's technically only one.
1.5.
One and a half.
One and
transmissions.
a little partial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a whole saw. And
That was fun.
it was awesome.
Fucking motorcycle jack.
Yeah, that was the best part, putting it back in. Yeah, well, I was like, oh, it's only 120 pounds. And then you don't realize like 120 pounds is really awkward when you can't move.
Yeah.
And then trying to hold it up and put bolts in.
Trying to hold it up, get the pilot bearing lined
Yeah.
up, the dowel pins lined up, stuff it in, and then get the bolts started.
I have a
Holding it with one
wooden
hand.
cradle that
That's what we did.
sits on top of my motorcycle jack.
That's what we did.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
We built one and we
Yep.
just used
Yep.
it. It worked perfect.
It did.
Hey, redneck engineering. You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
It worked great. It's actually honestly not that hard of a job to pull the tranny on that car.
No.
It's most cars aren't rear wheel drives.
Yeah.
Front wheel drives I have no experience with, so I wouldn't know. There's a
they're
lot
not
more.
that
I feel like
hard.
there's a lot more in the way.
Really though, it's not that bad.
Really?
Them things are tiny.
That's true. They're only like this big.
You can pretty much pick them up just by hand. Just pull them right out of there. It's not that bad.
It's like Subaru engines. You could like
my God.
you could just like kind of curl it, lift it up out of there,
Yeah.
put it in. Especially like the old 2 liters.
Oh yeah, they're pretty light.
They're like what
for an engine?
They're
really.
probably what 200 pounds.
something like that. Two people can pick it up
Yeah,
easily.
you could just grab one head on each side and probably drop it in.
yeah.
Fucking RX-7 motor.
Yeah, RX-7 motor.
Little keg.
yeah, yeah, probably weighs like 150 pounds. Well, since I know it is getting late,
Oh, that's fine.
and I know you have things to do, do you have any final topics you'd like to bring up?
Oh God, I have no clue.
Do you have anything? Do you want to test out that whiskey as a final send
Sure,
off?
go,
We'll do a
go
little.
grab your glasses.
Okay, I'll go grab some glasses. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're back. It's Widow Jane Decadence, and it's brewed in... Yeah, stand by. It's brewed in Red Hook, I want to say, Brooklyn. And it's allegedly brewed with limestone water from upstate. And then this is aged in maple syrup barrels from Crown Maple.
What's the proof? 91 proof.
So I've never-
45.
Do they put maple syrup in the barrels, then put the whiskey in it? Because I've never heard of people putting maple syrup in barrels.
Apparently Crown Maple does.
Interesting.
They probably put it in barrels to like ship out for like a mass production to like
Yeah.
places that can't produce it themselves.
Kind of like I'm smuggling back a couple gallons of maple syrup in the trunk of my car.
Exactly.
Gotta get it while the getting's good.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
That's a ASMR.
That was extremely satisfying.
Oh, smells.
Get a little nose
Does
on
not smell any different.
it. Nope. You know what it smells like? Bourbon.
Yep. That's,
all
that's
smell
exactly what
the
it
same.
is.
Worst part is like I don't really drink.
Me either. I don't
Me
really drink
either.
any hard liquors.
So like I mean, bourbon's all right. This is not my drink of choice.
I agree. I just had to try this.
It's maple, so
Yeah.
must try.
Can we get a...
Yeah, smells like bourbon. Doesn't smell like maple syrup.
Nope. Hopefully you get a little hint on the aftertaste.
Yep, smells like
All right,
bourbon.
give it a shot.
Cheers. Waiting for the maple.
Yeah, I
don't taste any maple.
don't taste any maple on that either.
Not bad though.
It's not bad. It's a little bit more. So actually, it's funny that we actually just tried a reference right before this. We tried some Buffalo Trace. This is a little bit more bitey.
I would definitely say that.
It's not as smooth. It's more like
Yeah.
ethanol-y. Flavor wise, there's not really a whole lot going on, to be honest. It's not bad, but there's not a whole lot going on. There wasn't, like I said, they all kind of taste the same to me anyway, but it seemed like the Buffalo Trace was a little bit more like thicker. I don't know if that's a way to put it.
Well, here's what I can tell you. E85 burns about like this.
Did you try it?
Well, I didn't try drinking it on purpose. It wasn't like, hey, let's go try that out.
We need a shot of that.
I may have been siphoning some stuff out of a bucket, and well, got a little swig of it.
So 85 ethanol.
Yeah,
So this is about the same.
without the hint of gasoline.
It's not. It didn't give me the shakes, so that's a good sign.
Yes, I agree.
I didn't get the. So it's not
Yeah.
bad. It's just kind of bitey. That's,
It
if I had to put it.
definitely is bitey, but I agree. I didn't get the shakes either. You could sip it,
Yeah.
and it's nice. Makes a nice warm feeling. Good for a cold day, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely.
Like when
Yeah.
like when we had that first cold snap with the snowstorm. That's what I did. I took some of my wheel horse and was just drinking it with ice
Yeah.
in the chair. But yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
not a bad.
we'll try more so we have more of a benchmark of like so we can like rate them. I don't know what I would rate it because I haven't really tried that many.
Yeah,
definitely-
me either. So I got nothing
Less
on that.
bitey than the wheel horse. Way more bitey than the Buffalo Trace.
Way better than any Irish whiskey I've ever had.
Yes. Oh my God, Irish whiskeys are brutal.
I tried to
Never
love
had
it.
Irish whiskey.
Gasoline.
I tried to like them. I even bought like a $150 bottle of Green Spot, and I was like, nope.
Dan gave me one at Shane's going away party.
Yeah.
Yeah, he let me. He had some bottle of Irish whiskey, and it wasn't It was honestly not that bad for the amount of Irish whiskeys that I have had. That one was tolerable to say the least, but it was still way worse than that. It's just jet fuel. Like
It's kind of like drinking moonshine. I can't do that.
I'd probably rather have moonshine.
Well, you had some of. Was that straight moonshine that I had at my house?
That was awful. Remember we burned it, and it burned for like a long time.
Yeah, we dumped it in the driveway when I was moving.
Yeah, because we were like, yeah, man, we just got to get rid of this. We just dumped it out. And he's like, I wonder if it'll burn. And it literally just started burning the whole driveway.
Lit it on fire and it just kept burning. I was like, okay.
And then it rained. It was pouring rain the whole day. We left. And we came back hours later because I think we had got E85 or something.
I can't remember. No, we couldn't.
What did we do?
We were moving my stuff into my shed.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we were still gone for like a few hours.
Yeah.
We came back and we pulled in the driveway. We're like, oh.
Yeah,
literally
you could still
it.
smell the stuff like lingering in the driveway. It was nasty.
That was really brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It's yeah. I went to a bar once and some guy was there. And he's like, it's kind of dead in here, so shots on me. And I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I'll take a free one. I didn't even know the guy. I didn't know anybody who was in there. And he's like, but it has to be Jameson. And I was like, fuck. So of course I'm like, oh man, I can do it. It's a free. You can't look like a girl in front of everybody here. So I just take it. I'm like, not bad, but inside I was dying.
Yeah.
Jameson is. I don't know who thinks Jameson is good. It is not good.
I don't think I've ever had it. I'm not, like I said,
I recommend you try it, but I wouldn't buy a bottle of it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Go get a little nip of it or something.
Yeah, if you can find somebody that has some, try it. But I don't think you're gonna like it. Like
probably.
if that's bitey,
Yeah.
then you're not gonna like. They're not bitey. They punch. Like
Yeah.
it's like a bar fight.
Slapped upside the head.
Yeah, it's like-
Put it in your coffee. That's about as far as I will go.
yeah. Dial it down a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're very strong.
that's what we had at Dots. Remember that little Irish coffee?
Yeah, that's not bad. Is that? I thought that was Bailey's.
No, I'm pretty sure Irish coffee is just coffee and Irish whiskey.
God, I can't remember who it was, but I tried to get somebody to put hand sanitizer in their coffee for an Irish coffee.
Right now I gotta look it up. Now you're fucking me
I'm
up.
pretty sure it's Bailey's.
I don't think so, dude. I think that's like a mudslide or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah, I couldn't imagine who that was, but I would imagine also that if you chose to make them do that, they probably are somebody that would do that.
They didn't do it, but
Oh.
I believe it was in Bennington.
It's not shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. It seems like something you would do in like middle school to be cool amongst your friends. Like, look, I'm rugged. And
I think the way it came about was that they were buying hand sanitizer from Full Throttle Distillery, which is in Tennessee. But instead of making whiskey or whatever they were normally making, they started making hand sanitizer. And I said, "Hey, look, it's from a whiskey company. You can put some in your coffee. Have an Irish coffee."
Oh no!
Like I said, they didn't do it, but it
that would have been really funny.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to cut it. All right. So thanks for watching. Andrew, thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
And
see you, man.
next time you're up, we'll have you on again probably. You can talk more stories and
Yeah, definitely.
come up with more stuff and have some more test drinks for you.
I think I got to plug the YouTube channel or something, don't I?
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, so if you want to see me make a fool of myself on YouTube, I have my own channel, and Freddie can link that. Also sells stuff on Etsy, like sometimes.
I'll link that too.
Yeah.
I'll link Katie's channel too.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot more vlog stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll link all that. So anyone who watches, definitely check that out for some interesting content and some actually really cool Etsy, what's like wood engraving.
Yeah, she makes signs and wood engraving stuff. Obviously, I help her make all kinds of stuff. So, what else does she make? I know it's signs, wood engravings. She does some stuffed animals sometimes, like personalized stuffed animals and stuff.
So anything like that,
Yeah,
feel free
anything
to,
personalized, she can do it. That's what
yeah.
she likes to do.
Custom requests.
Yeah,
Yeah, we might be able to finagle that in. So
definitely.
all right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.